welcome back to another episode of Gamblers Grind Podcast. It is your boy Make a Wish here, and we are on the final day of the Play-In Tournament 2024. Today is, good question, the 19th, Friday, April 19th, 2024, final day of the 2024 Play-Ins. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Do you know why I say that? Tell me why I say that for. Because the first game is interesting. Oh my goodness. So basically, one of the biggest things that has happened over the past couple games is that a lot of the big names, the big heavy hitters, the load carriers of the team are missing. So the big stars are going to be down a little bit. So on that being said, we have the Chicago Bulls. I don't know. Well, potentially missing Caruso. They're not missing anyone. They're not missing anyone, okay? But Caruso is a big part of the game. Miami Heat, though, missing Jimmy Butler. He just had recently got injured on the last game while they're securing the spot for this game, for the play-in. And he may be out for quite some time. I heard two different things about his leg situations. So he may be out for potentially, if they make it past this game, the rest of the playoffs. But how devastated is this team by that? We talk about that in a minute. Sacramento Kings, this too, fairly healthy. No one really missing of full details. Actually, before I keep saying that, before I put my foot in my mouth. Anyone missing? Oh yeah, I lied. That's right. Kevin Huerter. He's out for the season, so nothing to worry about that. But Malik Monk, though, he is a great person to have on the team. He does a lot of work. He takes a lot of shine, he gives a lot more play on the field. That's good for a couple points too, off the bench, which is really good for the squad. But is that really as bad as having Zion out? Zion Williams? You know, like the big name, the big face of New Orleans Pelicans? We'll get to that one in a second, all right? So, first game first. Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, all right? I'm going to do some looking here while I do some things. Because first things first, like I said, this one's playing in Miami. Going to Miami. By the way, so on the road, it actually is more beneficial for the Heat. Heat's a better team at home than the Bulls are away. But right now it's crunch time though, so let's see how much that factors into the game. All right. So for one, how I'm going to attack this. This is actually one of the reasons why I didn't really start getting to the picks and that kind of stuff yet, because I have my own mentality to think about this stuff. But going into it from the very beginning, Miami is the favorite. Slight favorite. So this is almost a pick 'em. Almost a pick 'em. And right now, FanDuel got them at minus 122. The odds for that, though? Yeah. Down currently 122. All right. Chicago's up. The underdog at plus 104. Like I said, it's basically a 50-50 until you start breaking things down and get into the deep analysis, which good thing about that, I'm not, unfortunately, too deep in my analysis. But I make a couple of things. I make a couple of plays. I tend to be right sometimes. So getting into this, the number one thing, the A1 is sweating, okay? Because we have DeRozan and the boy Kobe White over there doing some big things. Pulling the Bulls by the horns, taking them, trying to get them across the finish line. The thing is, that could be possible. They have upped their defense. I mean, the thing is, first thing is, this is a very, very slow-paced game. Both these teams in the top, if you flip the chart upside down, they're in the top three of the slowest teams in the league, all right? Slowest paced teams. They have a over-under 205.5 right now, which you get that at FanDuel negative 122. It's actually one of the better odds right now. Is it? I actually shouldn't say that because I have my settings changed a little bit. Next, let me just open it up quick. And don't worry, all the stuff I'm showing I have on my screen, I will put this on one of these days. When I actually get everything nice and figured out in a nice properly kind of way for my picks, I'll do that. Okay, nope, incorrect. Negative 120 is better at DraftKings right now for the over under 205.5. Which, oh my goodness, both these teams have reached 205.5 within the last 10 games several times. I do imagine this is going to be a slower paced game, but because there is that fire, that exuberance coming from the Chicago Bulls. Do you see what they did last game? You see what they started off? They started off that first quarter on fire. The Atlanta Hawks couldn't keep pace with that. They brought it back second game, no, second quarter though. But yeah, I imagine that these teams are going to be almost the same thing. Chicago Bulls were matching the pace last time, but this is going to be a little different. With Jimmy Butler not being on the court, things change a little bit in regards to the pace. So I'm expecting the shooter's going to shoot a little more, and that's going to be more beneficial for reaching the over. So right now, 205.5, I do personally believe that's a little low. Unless shots are just really missing, which I don't foresee that happening because these teams are actually very, very good at painting the mid-range. I'm expecting it to be relatively, I want to say around 212.5. Maybe like 212-ish. All right, so right now, looking at the shooters right now. We have Caleb Martin. It says Jamie, but I don't know if it's actually Jaime or not. Spanish names. Jaime Jaquez. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, too, this is one of my sleeper picks for the props. Let me go look and see what it is. Cause Bam Adebayo. Typically, what I've noticed throughout the season is that anytime and every time our good friend Jimmy Butler was on the court, Bam Adebayo did some numbers. Which is points right now? What is point spread is? Ooh, looking at it under 25.5. Let's put it to go under. I want to click on this. Oh no, plus points and assists. My apologies. The points. There you go. Under 21.5. Under 21.5, right? And which he has done that in plenty of games. But how many of these games though? Because like I said, things are a little different. Jimmy Butler's not in the house. Jimmy in the house. Jimmy in the house. Let me see real quick. If him being out, he typically does a lot better. He's a little more play down low. Because like I said, they stay in the paint. Like I said, that's actually more favorable for the over. So, I mean, I don't personally like the 21.5 just for the points. I may consider saying the point of assists. What's it looking like? Yeah, nah, that's not pretty. PRA though? Yeah, by the way, I didn't do this pregame. I'm actually doing this right now. Getting ready to place my own bets myself too. Because I'm actually, ooh boy. Everything screams under. For the PRA, 37.5. He has gotten that in 0 games with Jimmy. Out. Oh, maybe a little elevated. That could be a good thing. That could be a good thing right now. That says 37.5 over negative 110. The under there, 37.5. And that's the case. I flip-flop this over. Oh, they're not going to give me that for the under here? Oh, scumbag, dog. I go a little higher, give a little juice for it. Under 38.5. 100%, of course. So, that's actually, if you want a little pick right there, that's one thing that I'm actually leaning more towards. I shouldn't say lean, because those terms are terms that I find a little funky at times. But I'm favoring that right now. So now when that's what I might comfort myself. I would do it right now mid-screen, but I don't do my bets on my computer. I do them onto my phone at the moment. But that's something I'm a lot on. Actually, let me where do we find that at? Click that bad boy. You can see it for later. Boop. All right, so say that one for later. So that right there, like I said, in this game, I'm actually favoring that for there. I expect this game to be over 205.5. So because like I said, even though they're both slow paced teams, there's going to be a lot more fireworks, considering the fact that the shooters are out, and they're probably playing a little more shoot heavy team. Like I said, I don't foresee Kobe White doing the big 47 like it did, or 47, 41 did last time. I don't see that happening, only because the Hawks are crappy at defense, like really crappy at defense. So Miami is not one bit. He actually has one of the top 5, top 6 best defenses in the league. I really want to check that quick before I keep going. What should I do? But yeah, like I said, these top 6 in the rankings. Man, see, I'll do this some point in time later, number wise. These numbers for me. Like, this is the kind of research I go into. I do my stuff. I listen to people talk about this stuff. But I look things up and see where I'm at before I drop my bets. You know what I'm saying? Drop those hammers. And right now they're like 6th in defensive efficiency. And defensive efficiency on the shooting game. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. And the thing about that is that actually was not dependent upon Jimmy Butler being there. Regardless if Jimmy's there or not, Heat culture dictates great defense. Eric Spoelstra has made a lot of great things for this team. That's why no matter what, you can't count these guys out. That's why actually this is the better team. Even though all the players are there, maybe minus Alex Caruso, because Alex Caruso brings a lot of defense. FYI, if he's not in the game, because he's a game time decision right now, and this is right now, it's like at almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we only got like 4 hours before it actually dictate if he's going to be there or not. He pretty sure he's going to be in, but if he's not though, that's going to be a huge hit for them defensively. So that's one thing I take into consideration. So that makes for a higher scoring game, like I said. Even though it'll be slow paced, Alex Caruso won't be doing many turnovers or taking steals and blocks like he always be doing. Love the guy. The energy though. Oh no, Duncan Robinson's out too. No, sorry, game time decision. Okay, I'm about to say he's on the fence. He should be in though, considering the fact that the level of the game. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, the biggest thing about that is, like I said, Jimmy Butler being out. Alex Caruso will be a hurt piece to them defensively if he's not in there. But either way, this game should, slow or not, I'm trying to think about this. Slow or not, this actually should be something that will be passing over into the 205.5. So actually, if I had to lock it in with the cuffs, you know what I'm saying? Put the cuffs on one of these things, I would definitely probably say leaning heavily towards that. Leaning heavily towards that being the one. Because at every game, you can find something if you look hard enough, but every game isn't worth putting the money on, you know what I'm saying? 205.5 though, because actually I do a lot of parlays. So these bets I'm talking to you guys will probably go in a parlay. Some of them, if not all of them. We'll see what happens. Or both. You know? Parlay life is a little different. I'm gonna make a video about that too. About the parlay life and the struggle you do with that. Let's say right now the spreads are negative 1.5 for Miami. So it's just, like I said, it's a pick'em game. I'm leaning though heavily towards Miami doing a thing. Unless for some reason, Kobe White really pops off and DeRozan help things up. While getting through the defense, I believe Heat should take this one easily. Even if I Butler. Butler is not a deciding factor here. So I actually will favor since the money. More like negative 110, negative 120. Pick your poison there. Either one. Almost about the same thing. Unless you get 1 point difference. But I think I said enough about that one. That one actually I said final picks there. Like I said, Miami should be the winner here. Unless the Chicago Bulls shoots lights out shooting, because they're missing that Trae Young for that. Miami Heat should take this one. In a slow-paced game, that should cover, it's probably about 210, 212 points, give or take. Now, while that being dragged on, let's move to the next team. Next game's 9:30. Sacramento Kings at the New Orleans Pelicans. So this could be a Pelicans. This is gonna be at the Pelicans' house, which looking at the people who has Kings are better on the road than what the Pelicans have got at home win wise. That matters. Especially right now, they're using the momentum factor because the Kings. The only thing I have an issue with this going this one, it's hard to really call this one. Let me see, just the lines. This is a pick'em too? Oh yeah, this is another pick'em. Literally like a 50-50. -112 favoring Pelicans over +105 for the Kings. All right, this is almost a pick'em too. But the thing is, the difference between these two though is that there's two levels of motivation. The motivation that the Kings had last game, which I mentioned in the video, differs now because of the fact that last year they got knocked out by the Golden State Warriors. So that salty run back mentality changes a whole lot. They got the guys, they got them out, you know what I'm saying? But they're still hungry though. How hungry are they? Are they hungry enough to get past the Pelicans, who just took an L, which on a negative motivation aspect there, they might be hungry to try to stay alive, right? And then they saw the star player get out the game because Zion matters. He matters a lot. Like, he matters a lot, okay? Can the boys hold it down while he's out? Because remember, Brandon Ingram, he just recently came back from being injured for a while. And unfortunately, like a few people I knew, they bet the overs for his 15 points. He couldn't even make that. I don't foresee him being a heavy game changer being here either, points-wise. Trey Murphy been doing some things. CJ McCollum might pop off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think this might really come down to what happens in the paint. Like, a lot. And the good thing about that, Sabonis is down there with the double-doubles all the time. Rebounds and let me not get too heavy in this one because I don't really know too much about these players and the play style. So let me not say too much about that in regard to being down the paint and how to do stuff. Valanciunas is actually doing pretty good. He's not bad at all, but will he be out rebounding Sabonis? I'm curious if they actually had that for a bet, a head-to-head out rebound or out points or whatever, you know. I'm curious about that. If you guys happen to know, let me know down in the comments below so I can look into that for further for maybe next season. Not right now, though. But yeah, right now, everyone's basically here from last time for Sacramento Kings. So the team should be still firing all cylinders. I don't expect De'Aaron Fox to pop off heavy again because as it seems to me like he's taking the shots, but his shots have been off a little bit. So he hasn't been getting the 27, 28, 29 points he's been getting a game regularly. He's been sitting somewhere between 22 and 25. That's what I'm noticing. And with that being the case, though, our boy Keanu Ellis and Keegan Murray have been holding it down. Harrison Barnes, too, has been holding it down, too, but it's kind of like the dark horse out of nowhere. Keanu Ellis been doing some work to keep them in the game and making the shots that De'Aaron Fox hasn't been doing like he was before. And Sabonis is just a bonus, you know. He just trudging along very well. Like I said, in this one, this one might be another slower paced game. This is both two defensive heavy teams. They're both top 10 or one's right at the top 10. I forget. I'm not going to look it up, okay? That part's really irrelevant. But the fact of the matter is it's going to be a slower paced game. We're looking at regards to over-under 211.5. All right, that's reasonable. And I can see how heavy can I see it happening, though. Like I said, everything changed in regards to... No. Well, with Zion being out. With Zion being out, that means they're probably going to take more shots from the outside, mid-range to the three-pointer. So that changes a lot of things. So CJ McCollum should be getting a lot more shots in there. Brandon Ingram might take more shots, but he hasn't been doing a whole lot. He hasn't been doing too hot. I do imagine he might hit 20 in this game, simply because Zion's out, but I don't foresee him doing too much past that. Trey Murphy's doing his thing. Herb Jones doing his thing. But, you know, it's going to be doing enough thing to keep him up and afloat over Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings bring that pace, Their shot efficiency been very good. They've been starting off every first quarter very fast, unless the team shuts them down. And this here, I don't know. I mean, like I said, Pelicans are pretty defensive minded, but I don't know, dude, having to keep them down, keep them keep them from getting over 60 points in the first half, 35 points in the first quarter. That's one thing I can't really say about. So this in this one, I'm actually a little more iffy and looking at the over-under, the 211.5. That right there is not a quick guarantee. Would both these teams make 100? I imagine so. Unless Pelicans control the pace, this Kings are going to be outscoring and Pelicans got to keep up. I am leaning towards the 211.5 over. The over. I'm leaning towards that. I think Sacramento Kings can see what they bring that fire. Like I said, if I was Zion being there, it's going to be a different kind of game, points wise. There's a lot more shots going up, and a lot more people shooting from range. So it's gonna be. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be different. Spreads +1, -1. So like I said, it's pure pick'em. Right now, I'm actually heavily favoring the hungry team. Hungry for a taste of round 2. These Kings, especially consider the fact that Zion's not in the match. That changes everything. The whole dynamic changes. Zion not being there is kind of like Kawhi Leonard not being on the team, not being in the game. Everything changes, speed-wise, points-wise. So I'm leaning towards the over. I can definitely see maybe 220. I might even go to overtime. If it's competitive, this one might even go to overtime. You get like 215, 220 going into overtime. So sack, I'm leaning Kings. So yeah, I'm probably gonna put that on my on my parlay. So actually, I'm gonna tell you right now. Parlay, look at that. This is the general one, the basic one. This is the money line, because actually one thing I like to do is money line parlays quite often, just because I like to be right, and when I'm right, it's easy parlay, regardless of what the odds are. It could be like a negative 1,600. I did it for Golden State, not Golden State, Nuggets, and that was like a 12-legger that I missed by like 1 or 2. I forget. Doesn't matter. That's back in the past. That's old stuff. Old news right there. Either way, though, this right here, I do feel, I said, Kings be taking this one. Kings be taking this one. It should go over to 211.5. Do I have a? Actually, I didn't even think about that. Do I have a pick? I would pick off this one for I didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about this at all. Honestly, that was an iffy one. That was an iffy one right there. I do like just a bonus. How many points is he going to be doing here? How many points are we doing? Because this is with Zion off the floor. Zion off the floor. I mean, Zion's not really about the rebounds, but he gets in the way of people getting rebounds just by his presence being there, and that matters. But they're not gonna let me bring the boy in to adjust to see exactly. I love this thing, but this is breaking my heart right now. Fine, it's whatever. My heart don't hurt so much. But yeah, I'm thinking about that one. I'm thinking about that right there because, like I said, with the points being up, with Zion being out the game, there should be a lot more points in the paint coming from the Kings. Unless Herb Jones got something to say about that, you know what I'm saying? So just, I actually don't want to give out some crap. If I want to gamble with something like that, maybe later one. But nothing here really seems up to anything. But I don't see anyone doing too much wild or crazy stuff. I don't see anyone heavily scoring past 20 points. Except maybe De'Aaron Fox if he actually feel like, making a shot this time. So, yeah. Aside from that, I think I'm going to leave it all right there. this game should be interesting to say the least too. Not as interesting as the Chicago Bulls game, but yeah, something to check out, something to think about, you know. So this being the final game of the play-in tournament. Hopefully you guys are making things out in a good bets for yourself. And I'm gonna actually double check my picks and let you guys know maybe Saturday before other tournament how I did, or how I did here for the play-in tournament. I'm actually really curious too now. I think I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll let you guys see it. See how I do it, right? So that being said, happy gambling. Happy gambling, grinders. Make your best happen. Let's make some money together, guys. Let's go.